Should I buy off the plan? That's what we're talking about today in the East Central Business Show. I'm John Naylor, joined by a resident expert mortgage broker, Laura Sillano.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are we going to do advice in this at all?
No.
Come on, give us some advice.
No.
Oh,
Sorry.
but we're buying off the plan.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about?
Okay, so if I guess the question is, should I buy off the plan? So the things that happen when you buy off the plan in obtaining money to complete on that transaction. When you've bought off the plan, you've generally bought something that is not yet completed, and there's time between making the commitment that you've made to actually purchase and then completing on that commitment. And so time adds risk.
Okay.
Just by the fact that you have additional time. So if you're purchasing something that is an existing property that's already rented out or that somebody else is living in and going to sell, that's normally a 30-day contract in Queensland anyway. So there's a really short exchange period where you get to go to contract, get the property valued, get your finance in order, settle the property, and it's all done in that.
In by Christmas.
Yeah. I'd hope so if we're in August. So there's a really short time for that, right? When you buy off the plan, the time could be really long, so it could be 2 years, or it could be shorter if they manage to complete the property earlier than the scheduled date. I've yet to see a development go shorter time.
Okay.
But that's okay. But basically, what happens in that period is that you're making decisions based in one environment and having to complete in another. Okay, so the best way that you can prepare yourself for your completion date, which is that's when all of the stress actually comes in. If you're going to feel stressed, that's when it's going to be. The best way that you can prepare yourself for that completion date is really money in the bank.
Oh, okay. That's where we're going to get into today.
Put money in the bank, because the things that can happen during that time frame is that the lending environment may change. So while you might have purchased when you could go to, a 90% LVR and only put in a 10% deposit on that property.
Sorry, LVR?
Loan to value ratio. Sorry, so if you agreed to buy that property in an environment where the lending parameters were that you could go in with a 10% deposit, that's a better way of saying it.
Thank you.
All good. And then you come to complete and that lending environment has changed and you now need to go in with a 20% deposit. If you haven't saved that additional 10%, you won't be able to complete and you'll be in breach of contract.
You've done your dough.
Yeah.
Upset someone.
That's right. So that's the key thing that I would say, is that whenever you add time to the transaction, you need to prepare for that transaction from the day that you commit to it.
Okay.
Okay, so prepare with additional savings, prepare primarily cash is probably the biggest takeaway there.
Yeah.
Have cash. Because the other thing, it could happen in the reverse. Okay, so it could happen that you're buying in an environment where you're anticipating that you'll only be able to get in with a loan to 80%. So you need to come up with a 20% deposit. And in the next 2 years, the lending environment may lift a little. And so you can go in with just a 10% deposit, or the property might go up in value in that time. But you don't know what is going to happen in that 2 years' time, or however long it is until you settle. So because you don't know, prepare yourself for what may happen that you have no control over.
Yeah, and it's a risk. It's a game of risk. It's sort of, and when you said that at the start, I'm thinking, you're talking about from the bank's point of view, or for you as helping them with their lending. You're saying the risk is around the actual purchaser. And being prepared for the eventuality of being less attractive or a worse environment when it actually comes time to settle.
Yeah. So
optimistically, there's also the possibility. I remember back in the days, some older friends of mine, they said, "Oh no, we made all our money off the plan purchases."
Yeah.
Look,
that can happen. It doesn't always happen, so don't bank on it. Is my point. Don't bank on it happening, because it may, but it may not, because you don't know what the future holds there. The other thing is that when you actually purchase an off the plan property, you are not subject to finance. There is no finance clause in that. You're actually unconditional on that purchase, which means that you must complete on it, whether you have the money or not. And if you don't, then you will be in breach of contract. So that's what I'm saying, is that prepare yourself from the day that you commit to being able to complete on it. One way that you may do that is you may actually, based on your current circumstances, if you've got equity in a property already that could provide a 20% deposit or even a 30% deposit for this other property, then possibly get that out now at the time of committing.
Yeah, sure.
And then squirrel it away, don't touch it, and that's your deposit already done for when you need to complete on this other property in, you know, in whatever time frame that needs to happen.
Okay.
So that's a potential strategy that you could consider. You know, so again, when you're making that decision to purchase an off-the-plan purchase, it's probably a good time to talk to your broker at that time as well, to ensure that your deposit is ready.
Yeah, okay. Because that's it. When should they start having the conversation with a fantastic mortgage broker if they're going to purchase off the plan?
If they...
If you're liking buying off the plan, like give Laura Sillano a call, or...
We can talk with you about how a lender will view that off-the-plan purchase. So how, like, you know, what they're likely to do. So things like they will not value the property now. They will value it when it's complete, which is 2 weeks, usually 2 weeks before you have to settle on it.
Okay.
So if there's any difference between the purchase price that you paid and the valuation that you get, then if it's a shortfall, you'll need to come up with that additional money. If it's an increase, they'll still only give you the contract price. Yeah,
so the mortgage documents are written and come into action?
In that 2 weeks, just before you settle.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of contacting your broker at the time of purchasing an off-the-plan purchase, if you have got the deposit already, then it's still probably worthwhile just having the chat. It's just bear in mind that we won't be able to really do a servicing analysis for you or anything like that because it's not in the same time period.
Okay, but be well informed.
Yeah.
Start the conversation.
Yes.
With a great mortgage broker.
Sure.
Laura Sillano, how do they get hold of you?
You can call me on mobile at 0422 320 497, or you can also email through to the office, home@podfinancial.com.au.
Okay, fabulous information there about buying off the plan and being well informed about that process if there's something you want to do. So that's another great episode from the East Central Business Show. Thank you very much, Laura. We'll talk to you next time.